According to a recent study, the graphic t-shirt industry is worth an estimated $4.3 billion globally. And over the next 10 years, that number is expected to grow to over $9 billion. With so much profit being made within the t-shirt printing industry, there's never been a better time for you to get started in this industry, either as a side hustle to make some additional income or as a full-time business to really scale this to the next level. So today, in our first episode of Apparel Academy in 2023, I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide on how you can start your own t-shirt printing business. I'll go over how to choose the best printing method to start your business and how to find your first customers. With all that being said, let's jump into it. Alright you guys, before we jump into today's topic, if you're new to this channel, my name is Henry Ma, I'm the CEO of Ricoma, and I've helped thousands of entrepreneurs and startups start and grow in the custom apparel industry. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing to our channel so you keep up to date with new videos as soon as they come out. And if you enjoy content just like this, I would greatly appreciate it if you smash that like button so it tells us that this content is helpful and can be pushed out to more people who might find it useful. Alright, step number one that you should take to start your own t-shirt printing business is to define your audience. Defining your target audience means thinking about who you're going to be creating these t-shirts for. This is super important because if you don't have a defined target audience, it'll be very hard to stay focused on where you should start selling your t-shirts to. So I would really encourage you to take this step seriously and actually sit down and think about your customer profile. Start crafting your customer profile or customer avatar by listing out all the information that is relevant for that type of customer. For example, think about your target audience's buying behavior, what they like and dislike, their personality, their demographics like age and gender, etc. So you really start to craft who are the people that you're targeting for your t-shirts. The more details you know, the better it will help you when it comes time to market your business. Also consider what are the best sellers and what are some trending things that are selling in your community or on your favorite online reseller. One practical idea that you can implement when defining your target audience is to target a specific segment of customers by niching down. For example, think of groups of people that share common interests and use that as your target audience to begin with. Think of car enthusiasts that love cars and maybe you can print different t-shirts about different cars, or even gamers that like specific types of video games and you can cater to that specific market. The point is you want to niche down and target a segment of customers and focus on that to begin with rather than targeting everyone. Alright, now that you've hopefully identified your target audience, the next step is to choose your apparel decorating method. As you can imagine, there are many types of decorating methods when it comes to printing on t-shirts. Before you make the decision on which one to go with, you need to do your research and think about which one best suit your needs. One thing I would recommend you to do is to start by thinking about what type of designs you're looking to print. Are they going to be small designs, intricate designs, or large designs? You'll see how the size and complexity of the design will come to be a factor in your decision-making process on what type of decorating method to go with. From there, you need to decide for yourself how hands-on you want to be and what type of production volume you're expecting to have. For example, silkscreen printing has a setup cost and takes longer to set up for a specific run of printing t-shirts, but once it's set up, it can pump out hundreds and thousands of t-shirts in a relatively short period of time. On the flip side, something like two-step heat transfer might be a viable option for small batch orders, or even heat transfer vinyl, but heat transfer vinyl involves weeding and other more labor-intensive processes. Finally, after you determine all of that, you need to consider your budget and what you're willing to invest to start this business. For example, the initial upfront cost in terms of investment for a vinyl cutter and a heat press to do heat transfer vinyl is relatively lower compared to something like a direct-to-garment printer or a white toner transfer printer. However, you do need to consider the fact that heat transfer vinyl is more labor-intensive, as I mentioned, and it has a weeding process compared to a more automatic and seamless process with direct-to-garment printing or white toner transfer printing. After all, there's no quote-unquote perfect apparel decorating method out there for printing t-shirts. It all depends on your budget, your needs, and your particular circumstances. In fact, I went over the 3 most popular printing methods in a previous episode on this channel, going over the advantages, the drawbacks, as well as what type of projects you can print on. So if you're interested to check out a deeper dive into the comparison of these different methods for printing, make sure to check out the video I put in the card above and down in the links below. All right, now that you've done all this research and determined which decorating method you want to go with, you can now move on to step number 3, which is practice your printing method. Once you've chosen your apparel decorating method of choice for printing your t-shirts and you've gone through the relevant training and all of that, it's important that you practice and master the craft.
We're talking about practice. We're talking about practice. We ain't talking about the game. We're talking about practice, man.
I would highly recommend that before you even sell your first garment to a customer, that you practice on old t-shirts and other garments lying around the house so that you can get familiar with the process. I've also found that a lot of people save on materials by printing on the same t-shirt multiple times in different areas so they can get a sense for the outcome of the design so that they can have a good idea of the quality that they can produce for their clients if they take on an order. I would highly encourage you to watch tons of tutorial videos and make sure that you go through the relevant training that your vendor provides and make sure that you are comfortable with making an order before taking one on. Now, a lot of people actually overlook this step because they're super excited to get started with their new piece of equipment. And while I completely understand that, I also want to caution you to not do that because a lot of times you might get frustrated or do something wrong and mess up your machine if you don't know how to use it properly. And while machines can get fixed and problems can get resolved, it is hard to resolve an issue with a customer when you leave a bad impression if you take on an order that you can't fulfill. Or worse, do a poor job in terms of quality and the customer is not happy with the order that they place with you and therefore you lose that customer in the future. Especially as a small business starting out, it is important for you to retain every customer that you get in your door, and therefore it's important for you to produce quality product so that you don't shoot yourself in the foot down the road. In fact, you can think about giving gifts of printed t-shirts to friends or family and use that as a practice opportunity to produce a quality product before moving on to paying customers. All right, this all leads me to the final step of the process, which is to market your business. Obviously, it should go without saying that getting the word out and getting people to know about the services you offer is going to be a crucial step to the success of your business long term. And one of the best ways and free ways for you to do this is through word of mouth marketing. The more that you talk about your business and the more you encourage others to talk about your business, the easier it will be for you to attract customers to your business. A lot of people think that you need to have this elaborate marketing strategy that is super advanced, and if I don't have experience in marketing in that sense, that it doesn't make sense for me to get into this business. I can tell you that that's far from the truth. One of the things I tell people is that I'm sure everyone knows a friend or family that can make an introduction to someone else that might have a business or a need for decorated apparel. Before you even go into an elaborate marketing strategy or even paying for advertising to attract customers, you should really exhaust all the low-hanging fruits in your network. It doesn't cost you anything to reach out to a friend or reach out to a family member and ask if they know someone that might own a restaurant or have a connection with a school or a daycare that can get you an introduction to a business or an organization that might have needs for decorated apparel. I've seen thousands of entrepreneurs and startups start this way, and it's a foolproof way to get your foot in the door and get your business started. Once you've targeted these low-hanging fruits and making these warm introductions to potential businesses, then if you just get that one order and you do a good job, you can then leverage that relationship for future referrals and good reviews. Now you are really starting to build a track record for yourself and people can see the type of services you're offering, and word of mouth will travel and hopefully spread that way. Another great way to immerse yourself in this industry, especially if you're starting out brand new, is to attend trade shows and craft shows. You don't necessarily need to have a booth at a trade show or craft show and be a vendor on display, but you can attend them to learn from others, network with other players in the industry, and make connections with viable vendors that can supply you with the supplies and the tools that you need to further grow your business. We actually went into further detail on all the ways that the trade show can help your apparel decorating business in a past episode on this channel. I put that video in the card above and down in the links below. You can check it out later. One final note I want to make about trade shows is that if you're thinking about attending one, make sure you wear apparel with your own logo on it as a way to show off your services. After all, you're in the apparel decorating industry. It would be a shame if you waste the opportunity to showcase your own work by wearing your own apparel. I see a lot of people actually overlook this very simple way to advertise your business and be a conversation starter at trade shows. All right, that's all the time that we have for today, guys. If you're interested to take the next step in your t-shirt printing journey and thinking about different equipment that can help you get started in that, I put some of those equipment in terms of heat presses or white toner transfer printers in the card above and down in the links below. You can check it out and speak with a product specialist. And if you found any of this information helpful at all, I would greatly appreciate it if you smash that like button. It would greatly help out this channel, and consider subscribing so you keep up to date with new videos as soon as they come out. Oh, and don't forget, we have a very active Facebook group called Embroidery and Custom Apparel Mastery, where there's now over 33,000 members in there sharing their tips and tricks of the industry, so you can learn a thing or two and be a part of the conversation. To join that, simply click the link that I put in the description below and be a part of the group. Last but not least, make sure to follow us on all of our social channels down below. We're active on Instagram and on TikTok for some entertaining content, so you always stay up to date with the latest trends happening in the world of decorated apparel. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you implement these steps so that you can be well on your way to starting your own t-shirt business, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.